trying to keep the raw nerve the whole time. Hey, everybody, we're back here with the host of All In with Chris Hayes, Mr. Chris Hayes. Okay, you have a podcast, as I said before, called Why Is This Happening? We're likely going to have another presidential election between Joe Biden, 81, and Donald Trump. By the election, will be 78?
I believe so,
78?
yeah.
Okay, why is that happening?
Well...
Why are our candidates so old?
There's a bunch of reasons. One is the baby boom was really a big generation.
Yeah.
That's why they called it the boom.
Sure.
And baby boomers have had a kind of cultural and political dominance in American life for an incredibly sustained period of time, partly, I think, because of the age of which they came of age, and also because of their sheer numbers. And they've proven remarkably immune to being dislodged.
Yes, and unwilling to be dislodged.
Also true.
Right.
I also think two other things. One, the first answer to your question is incumbency is a powerful thing in politics. Always has been. Donald Trump, essentially an incumbent. Yeah. Joe Biden, the actual incumbent. Incumbency is powerful. Name recognition matters a lot. Those are the two guys that were there. They're going to be there again. And number three, what I would say is that actually both Joe Biden and Donald Trump, in very different ways, are good at politics. It's not fully an accident that these two individuals are where they are. Joe Biden has been a politician since he was 29. He got elected to the Senate, right on the constitutional threshold of being a U.S. senator. He has been doing this for 51 years. And you know what? He's good at it. Joe Biden is good at doing politics. It's not easy. It's not guaranteed that you win as many elections as Joe Biden has won in his life. And you know who else is good at politics in a dark, perverse, destructive way?
Yes.
Is Donald Trump. He's good at politics.
Yeah, he's good at motivating the polis.
And for all of the exhaustion with these two men, or exhaustion at least with the thought of a rematch, or exhaustion with the notion of two individuals at the advanced stage they're at, in the end, the combination ultimately of incumbency and their actual political skill is the answer to your question.
You recently said that you think that people in the media should cover Trump more.
Yes.
Why? Because there was a lot of criticism back in 2016 that he was covered too much, that he was given billions of dollars of free publicity and free advertising. So what do you mean by more? It's certainly not what happened in 2016.
No, I mean, first of all, I think that the critique in 2016 was correct, and also the lesson was overlearned. And what I mean by overlearned is, what I think happened, particularly after January 6th, particularly after he was no longer in the White House and he disappeared from these social media platforms, he became an abstraction. His edges got sanded off, and often when he was reported about, it was through the prism of reporting that characterized him rather than actually seeing him.
Oh, I understand.
And it's genuinely shocking. Like, I don't know how often you go over to Truth Social to read his posts.
Not as often as I should, obviously.
It's every reporter who's ever worked in a newsroom has experienced cranks. They get emails or letters from cranks.
Sure.
It's all the same cadence. It's all the same weird capitalization, the same anger, the pettiness. He's a crank. And his odiousness and his aberrantness is very hard to keep front of mind because it is so strange, because it is so repellent, that the more removed the actual figure of Donald Trump is from the collective memory, the less people remember just how odious he is.
So if we put him on camera more often, or if the news puts him on camera more often, we'll be reminded how...
of who he is. I mean,
we're creeped out by him. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And people, look, there was a reason. I always go back to COVID when he was doing the daily press briefings.
I remember those, yeah.
And the breaking point was probably when he said you should try to shine UV light in your butthole. You remember that part?
Or inject bleach.
Or inject bleach.
That was the same one, inject the bleach.
Either, and inject the bleach. If there's a way to get it inside the body, the UV light or the bleach.
Sure.
And they had to pull him off doing that, partly because it was dangerous to people's health, but also because it was politically bad for him. It started to drive his numbers down.
Yeah.
And I think there is a degree to which people really, it's hard to keep in mind just how strange and terrible a figure he is. And I think that the news has helped him a little bit by keeping him off stage.
Last thing is, I know you got to go and do a show, and we got to go too, but I wanted to talk just slightly about why do you think Russia has such a grip on some of the Republican Party? Why is Tucker Carlson not an aberration, but an avatar of a certain attitude now?
It is strange. And I have the same...
A weird switch.
It is a weird
in a short period of time.
Very weird inversion. It was very weird the way that Tucker did all the Stations of the Cross of the American leftists going to Soviet Russia to report back on how much better things are.
Yes.
Almost like he was doing a bit, Potemkin Village kind of bit. There's two reasons, I think. One is transactional. Vladimir Putin engineered criminal sabotage to help get Donald Trump elected in 2016, and Donald Trump knows that, and Vladimir Putin knows that, and the Republican Party knows that. They would like his help again in 2024, obviously, and there is a debt that he's incurred, and Donald Trump wants him to help him out. So that's the transactional reason. The ideological reason is that as the Republican Party, and particularly conservative movement, radicalizes against democracy, they are increasingly looking for foreign models of right-wing authoritarianism that is alluring or attractive to them in replacement of our traditions here.
So Orban.
Exactly.
One.
Orban being another one, Putin being one. They are increasingly souring on democracy. They're souring on the project of all of us together across all our lines of difference, choosing collectively what we do. Mm-hmm. And as they sour on that and they radicalize against that very notion, they look for models elsewhere of what things could be like. And one of those places is Russia.
Chris, thank you so much.
It's great to be
Always
here.
love to talk to you. Thank you for being here. All In airs Tuesdays through Fridays on MSNBC. And you can listen to Why Is This Happening wherever you get your podcast. It's Chris Hayes, everybody. We'll be right back with Emmy Award-winning actor Carrie Preston.